Hey up lads and lasses, Danfire here. Back again. We've got some more stuff to look at. We're going to jump into what these stats all mean over here. I've been in contact with the devs. I've managed to clarify some things, but not necessarily everything, because even speaking directly to the devs, they have translation issues. But I'll do my best. Some things have been sort of semi-confirmed at least. So we'll jump straight into it, but before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. If you any comments, drop below as well if you have any different opinions on some of these. But otherwise, yeah, let's get to it. We're going to look at carriers specifically because they get the gear. There's a group of stats specifically for carriers, but they get all the other stats as well. So we can talk about those. So we have durability. This is pretty standard. It's the amount of HP pull on your hull of your ship only, so it doesn't include shields. But yeah, the higher this is, the better it is, the more damage it can take. It's pretty standard. We then have armor types. We have standard, which is basically like a brush up against all of the resistances, so it gets, you know, a bit of kinetic, a bit of thermal, and a bit of EM resistances. You then have deflecting, which reduces kinetic a little bit higher than the other two resistances. Mirror for thermal and slightly lower for the other two. And ceramic for EM. Pretty self-explanatory. The CPU limit is also pretty self-explanatory. It's this limit here. It's how much stuff you can fit onto your warships. We then have energy limit. This is the highest point that your energy's at. So at the very start of the battle, you'll have, in this case, 101,648 energy. This is used by all weapons, common devices, all the way through to your tacticals, etc., etc. They all use this energy. You then have energy recovery. This is the amount of energy it recovers per second. So every second, in this case, it's recovering 709 energy. And this will just keep going up if you're not in combat, not firing. Go down a bit, we have the cost. The cost is the cost of putting this warship into a fleet. So at the moment, we have 65 cost in total. So 28 takes a good portion of that cost, and so on and so forth. Warehouse is the amount of materials this ship can store in its hold when mining. Quite important. Higher the number, the longer it can stay mining, which is obviously quite good. Mining capacity. This is the rate at which it can mine at. Between these two and plugins, etc., is where you want to try and balance your ships out for most potential mining within the time frame that you want to be mining for. We then get onto the carrier side of things. So we have the Carrier-Borne aircraft limit. This is the limit to how many UAVs can be put onto the ship. So 8. It's pretty certain all of the carriers can hold 8 UAVs at any point. We go down a bit. We have the Carrier-Borne aircraft front cooling. What this is at the very start of a fight, there is a 2.5 second time before it can launch its UAVs. We then have the Carrier-Borne aircraft cooling. This is when the UAVs come back. There is a period of time where you have to wait for the UAVs to cool down before they can be launched again. We have survival time for them as well. This is how long they can stay out dealing damage, so this is an important number to get high. We then have the maximum speed. This is the top speed that the ship can go. Steering speed is how fast it can turn. In the cases of lasers, having high steering speed is quite good, because that means if they're on wing and they need to rotate round, they'll rotate faster. We have quality. Our quality is the, as far as I'm aware, because I've asked the devs and they haven't got back to me and they're ignoring it for some reason, is the speed that the ship's affected by its BR. Sorry, by its size. So the higher the ship, sorry, the larger the ship, the lower the maximum speed is, basically. There's also a hidden one here, which is motivation, which is tied to the BR. The higher the battle rating, the faster it can get up to its maximum speed. So for instance, on this 1 mil battle rating, it's, I don't know, sort of slow still, I guess, because it's still a carrier, but if it was 2 million, it'd be a little bit quicker. I haven't, unfortunately, got numbers for that. I've, again, asked the devs, but I'm not getting anything really of any use back from them on that. Power. We believe this is somehow tied to motivation and battle rating. I can't confirm that either. Crit resistance is similar to the thermal resistances. It's the amount of damage that you'll take, or reduced damage you'll take from critical damage. So you will take, in this case, 3.8% less critical damage from a crit hit. Dodge rate, fairly explanatory. % chance to dodge something. This is quite an interesting stat. It's actually very useful. The higher your dodge rate, the less shots are just going to hit you. So it's like a flat damage mitigation. I've seen with Vincent on ships where he's got like a 40% damage. He's pretty much dodging that 40% of shots. It's quite horrible to watch, actually. You're just missing everything. It does affect lasers, including locked-on lasers. This has been tested by my Legion, which is quite cool. They had a frigate out with Vincent on it, and they got the dodge rate up to 100%. During that 100%, he wasn't receiving damage from anything, including the lock-on lasers. We then have the resistances. These are pretty self-explanatory. This is reduced damage from specific damage sources, thermal, kinetic, and EM. And the very last one I want to talk about is momentum, which is in the reforms. You have momentum here. So there's like a hidden cap on weight inside the game that we haven't been able to fathom out. But what this means is the more stuff you put onto a ship, the slower its acceleration is, and the slower its top speed is. So if you take a frigate that's empty, it's faster than a frigate that has, you know, a full load of tier 3 weapons on it. So something to bear in mind if you're looking for sort of speedy ships. Other than that, calibration rate. I sort of have confirmation from the devs on this one, and I quote, "Calibration means that if you have more of this, you can aim it more accurately." Translated into English properly, I believe that means the higher calibration rate, the higher your ability to aim is, so your accuracy at firing. I have seen another quote which is specifically to do with how fast your ship is moving. But it all boils down to that this is basically accuracy, how often it's going to hit. I don't know if you've seen on ships that are further away, on like say a tornado, which can have bonuses to its distance on its precision weapons, projectile weapons, sorry. And you have a frigate flying at like max speed, it can sometimes miss the shots. The idea, I believe, is the higher the calibration rate is, the more of those shots will actually hit. And that's it. There's not much to go through, really. And some of these do have some tooltips that, if sort of translated a little bit, do sort of make sense. So, I mean, that's at least useful. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day. And yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys next time.